I've been drawing on my iPad for 4 years now, and although Procreate is a really easy and intuitive software to use, there are a few things I wish I knew at the beginning of my creative journey. Hi, I'm Simon, and today we're going to tackle the top 7 mistakes beginners make on Procreate. And these tips will also help you if you're a seasoned artist, so stick around. The first common mistake is not knowing how to set up the canvas. So for social media, a resolution of 720 dpi is sufficient, with common sizes going along 1080 by 1080 pixels. This is perfect for Instagram. But for print, I aim for 300 dpi and I adjust the dimensions according to the size of the print. So for example, 8 by 10 inches. This makes sure that your artwork remain clear and non-pixelated in both digital and physical formats. On a personal note, I created a Copenhagen poster for social media, and I liked it so much that I wanted to print it, but because the resolution was too small, I had to retrace it to make sure to maintain the quality. So think a little bit ahead if possible. The second one is to feel overwhelmed with the interface of Procreate. As a beginner, you should start familiarizing yourself with the essential tool. That means the brush tool, the eraser tool, and the color palette, the painting tool. Focus on learning one section of the interface at a time and start with the most used tool. This will help you to avoid feeling overwhelmed. My advice is to take time to play with the different brushes because there are so many excellent default brushes on Procreate. So for example, my favorite brushes I use 9% of the time are dry ink, chalk, and spectra. And just start doodling, don't overcomplicate your flow. The next mistake is not knowing how to use layers. So this is the beauty of using digital art, is being able to put layer upon layer upon layer on your illustration. What I really like is that you're able to work on layers and sketch as many times as you want and retrace a more confident drawing as you figure out your sketch. So when you think of layers as transparent sheets that you put on top of each other and that helps you hold different part of your drawing. So my personal setup is that I have the background at the bottom, then I add a sketch layer, a clean line layer, and I add different color element in between. And this organization helped me make adjustment without having to delete the whole entirety of the artwork. Also, as you become more advanced, you will start playing with the different blend modes and creating fun effects with the layers. So take your time to really master playing with layer and their opacity. So let's talk about tracing because I think it's a little bit of a controversial topic. So I think that tracing can be a useful learning tool to get started and start learning about overall shape. This will also help you understand proportion and perspective and really encourage your creativity. Because don't just upload the image, lower the opacity, and start adding a new layer on top of it. Use a reference feature in Procreate, and this will help you have the source image handy without directly tracing over it. I like to have the canvas reference on as it helps me move my reference photo as I draw. Knowing shortcuts and gestures specifically is a great way to streamline your workflow, and it makes your drawing process more efficient. So some essential gesture that I love is the 2-finger tap to undo, the 3-finger tap to redo, the quick pinch to zoom in and out. Also, using gesture from the beginning is a great way to have them ingrained into your practice. And it's so ingrained into my practice that I often find myself double tapping or expanding whenever I draw on a piece of paper. Next is to watch tutorial and to experiment on Procreate. A good thing about Procreate is that it's a very popular tool and it has such a great following online. This means that you have tons of resources available and you can watch tutorials from platforms like Skillshare, and this can really accelerate your learning curve. So experiment with what you learn and apply them to your work. I think it's a great way to grow as an artist and to stay curious. And with the more techniques you start acquiring, you will really start developing your own unique style and process. I personally started as a Skillshare student and now I'm a top teacher. And also, if you want to get access to my 90-page PDF on Procreate, including my favorite brush, blend mode, and step by step process, use this link to get 30-day free. On me. On top of that, you will not only have access to my content, you'll be able to access content from other fabulous teachers on Skillshare. The last mistake is only seeing your iPad as a digital tool and not as a sketchbook. Let me explain. Don't be afraid to incorporate your iPad to your daily drawing practice in the same way you would with journaling on a piece of paper. My best advice is to start your drawing practice on your iPad and start sketching directly on it as opposed to on a piece of paper. Because I see a lot of artists who are not comfortable with the feel of the iPad yet, and they always do their sketching on a piece of paper, take a photo, and then import it on Procreate to start doing the clean line tracing. I will say no, no, no. Just start sketching directly on your iPad. You can also set up your iPad as a sketchbook by setting up each layer as pages and draw within a folder. And that's a really fun way to have a digital sketchbook. And those are the 7 common mistakes beginners make on Procreate. Avoiding these early on will really help you enhance your digital art skills significantly. And for more tips and tricks, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Thank you so much for watching and stay creative.